The Detroit Lions put on a show in São Paulo and are excited about Rio de Janeiro. European American football decides not to split. Flag Football World Championship groups are set. Champions crowned in Brazil, Chile, and Mexico. And the National League announces it will receive $100 million in investment. Your podcast, Salão Oval Around the World, episode 2 is starting now. Hit that like button and let's go. Let's start with the main headlines from international American football. In Brazil, the Detroit Lions held their first official watch party. It took place on Thanksgiving Day during the game against the Green Bay Packers. Even though the team never really got things going on the field, in the financial heart of São Paulo, the fans loved to spend an afternoon with friends watching an NFL game together. But beyond bringing fans together, the team is excited about the possibility of being one of the franchises selected for the game in Rio de Janeiro next year. Along with the Lions, the Eagles, Dolphins, and Patriots are the teams designated by the NFL to explore the Brazilian market. Now let's head to Europe. The 2025 season was turbulent, with half of the European League of Football teams rebelling and announcing that in 2026 they would create a new league, the IFA. The teams were demanding more transparency, efficiency, and financial sustainability from the league's management. The pressure led Commissioner Patrick Essumet to announce his resignation before the end of the season, which ended in September. Salão Oval was in Madrid the week the NFL landed in Spain for the very first time, and we asked the captain of the Madrid Bravos, one of the teams that had announced its participation in the EFA, which league the team would play in next year. Iago Riveros said at the time that nothing was decided yet, and this week we found out why he hesitated. EFA and EFL have announced that they will operate together as a single league and that the EFL will move in a new direction. United, the organizations are promising a stable lineup of teams, a predictable schedule, higher broadcast standards, and a more consistent game day experience across different countries. Working groups are already discussing the league's structure for the next year, the competition format, the calendar, and operational protocols. The final list of franchises for next season will be announced in the upcoming weeks. This week, we also had the group draw for the Flag Football World Championship, which will take place in August 2026 in Germany. Several famous NFL players were invited for the announcement, including Super Bowl winning quarterbacks Eli Manning and Drew Brees. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, Eli Manning here, former NFL quarterback and two-time Super Bowl champion. And as a proud global flag football ambassador, it's my honor to participate in the group's announcement of the IFAF Flag Football World Championship 2026. This will be the biggest global event in flag football between now and the Olympic Games, and only the world's top 16 teams have qualified. And I can now reveal that the countries who will compete in the women's Group A are Mexico, Germany, Italy, Slovenia. Good luck to all the athletes headed to Dusseldorf, and I'm looking forward to catching all the action in August next year.
What's up, everyone? I'm Drew Brees, former NFL quarterback and Super Bowl champion. And as a proud global flag football ambassador, it is my honor to participate in the group's announcement for the IFAF Flag Football World Championships 2026. This will be the biggest global event in flag football between now and the Olympic Games, and only the world's top 16 teams have qualified. I can now reveal that the countries who will compete in the women's Group B are USA, Spain, Australia, and Nigeria. Good luck to all the athletes headed to Dusseldorf. I'm looking forward to catching all the action in August next year.
Hello, I'm Troy Vincent, the Executive Vice President of Football Operations at the National Football League. I can now reveal which countries will compete in Women's Group C. They are Great Britain, Austria, France, and China. Best wishes to all the athletes headed to Dusseldorf. I'm looking forward to catching all the action in August next year.
And I'm Liz Sowers, head coach of Ottawa University women's flag football team and 5-time NAIA national champions. As a proud global flag football ambassador, it is my honor to participate in the group's announcements for the IFAF Flag Football World Championships 2026. This will be the biggest global event in flag football between now and the Olympic Games. Only the world's top 16 teams have qualified. This group that I'm announcing has both past and present athletes that I have had the privilege of coaching, which makes this really exciting. I can now reveal that the countries who will compete in women's Group D are, drumroll, Canada, Japan, Panama, and Brazil. Good luck to all the athletes headed to Dusseldorf. I'm looking forward to catching all the action in August next year.
Hi everybody, this is Pierre, your president. As you know, we are just a few months away from the 2026 IFAF Flag Football World Championship, an event which already promised to play an essential role on the way to LA 2028. It is an exciting day today as we reveal the super expected draw of that championship. With that being said, it is my pleasure to present you the men's Group A with the reigning world champions, USA, and we'll be joined by Australia, Israel, and American Samoa. Wish you all the best for what will promise to be an exciting competition. I see you there.
Hey everyone, I'm Eli Manning, former NFL quarterback and 2-time Super Bowl champion. And as a proud global flag football ambassador, it's my honor to participate in the group's announcement of the IFAF Flag Football World Championship 2026. And I can now reveal that the countries who will compete in the men's Group B are Austria, Japan, Canada, and Nigeria. Good luck to all the athletes headed to Dusseldorf. I'm looking forward to catching all the action in August next year.
Hi guys, my name is Sebastian Vollmer. I'm a former New England Patriot and one of the global flag football ambassadors. And today I have the great honor to announce the men's Group C at the IFAF Flag Football World Championship in 2026. It's going to be played in Düsseldorf, Germany, my hometown. And it's going to be played on the New England Patriots flag football field as well as on my field. So obviously we are super stoked that it's being put to good use. We wish everybody good luck. But only the best 16 teams have made it. So without further ado, the men's Group C is Brazil, Mexico, Switzerland, and last but not least, Germany. Congratulations. We wish everybody good luck. Stay healthy, and I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Sowers, head coach of Ottawa University women's flag football and 5-time NAIA national champions. I can now reveal that the countries who will compete in the men's Group D are, drumroll, Italy, France, Great Britain, and Panama. Good luck to all the athletes headed to Dusseldorf. I'm looking forward to catching all the action in August next year.
The World Championship will be held in Dusseldorf at the newly inaugurated flag football field of the New England Patriots. The venue has capacity for around 2,000 spectators. In an interview with Salão Oval, the IFAF president Pierre Truchet warned teams to be ready, as the tournament is expected to be the main qualifier for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games.
We can reasonably expect Düsseldorf to be a qualifying event. It's still underway, the process is underway. It's going to be known now in just a few weeks by the end of the year. So we are very close to know how many teams and how the process will look like. But yes, to every team be a part of the World Championship, get ready. It will be time to get your tickets to LA 28.
In Brazil, flag football keeps growing and getting more attention. After the women's champions crowned in October, it was time for the men's final. The 2024 champions, the Kings from Rio de Janeiro, put on an outstanding title defense and reached the final undefeated, facing Cannibals from São Paulo. With a very efficient second half, Kings secured back-to-back titles with a 25-19 win. We interviewed the MVP of the tournament, Silvinha. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. There was also a champion in Chile, but this time not in flag football, it was full pads. Felinos defeated Blindados and lifted the trophy with an undefeated season. And in Mexico, the college championship game was thrilling. The Auténticos Tigres beat Tec de Monterrey 33-30, but they had to hold their breaths on the final field goal attempt. The ball hit the base on the upper ring and bounced out, sealing the title for Auténticos Tigres. And speaking of Mexico, the Liga de Futebol Americano in Mexico, the LFA, has taken a huge step towards establishing itself once and for all as a professional league. An investment group has committed to inject it up to $100 million over the next 7 years. The investment comes from Global Sports Capital Partners, an American fund, in partnership with the franchise owner in the LFA itself. The idea is straightforward: bring more structure, more organization, and more visibility to what is currently the main professional American football league in Mexico. And there's a detail that really stands out. It's not just financial market people joining the project. One of the moves that paved the way for this agreement was the purchase of the Osos Monterrey franchise by a group led by former NFL All-Pro Ryan Khalil and former NBA player Blake Griffin. On top of that, other NFL-related names are involved in the project, such as Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Sam Darnold, and coach Ron Rivera. In other words, it's not just money. It's people who have lived the highest level of American football betting that Mexico has room to grow, both in tackle football and in women's flag football, which is also part of the league's structure and, as we've seen, will be an Olympic sport in Los Angeles 2028 games. Does that make the Mexican national team the favorite for the World Championship in Düsseldorf next year? Leave your thoughts in the comments. So, that's the story. The LFA gets a potential injection of more than $100 million in the backing of major NFL names. If this plan turns into reality as promised, we could see Mexico playing an even more important role on the American football international map. In future episodes, we'll be back to track how this investment shows up on the field, in broadcasts, and maybe even new opportunities across Latin America as well. So, see you next time.